Okay, page 3, recording. What are the firm's business level and corporate level strategies? A. Business level, an integrated and coordinated set of commitments and actions the firm uses to gain a competitive advantage by exploiting core competencies in specific product markets. Just remember, integrated and coordinated set of commitments and actions the firm uses to gain a competitive advantage by exploiting core competencies in specific product markets. Now, consumers. Here, consumers. Consumers are the foundation of successful business level strategies. Consumers. Strategic competitiveness results when firm can satisfy customers by using its competitive advantages. Most successful companies satisfy current customers and or meet needs of new customers. Customer relationship depends upon providing superior value. Customer relationship depends upon providing superior value. Okay, customer define the foundation of successful business level strategies. Specific strategic competitiveness results when firm can satisfy customer by using its competitive advantages. Most successful companies satisfy current customer and or meet needs of new customers. Customer relationship depends upon providing superior value. Types of business level strategies. We can see here in the square: competitive advantage, cost, differentiation or uniqueness. Competitive advantage, it can be cost or differentiation. Then competitive scope, broad target market, or simply narrow target. Types of business level strategy. Cost leadership produces standardized products for typical customers, offers low cost products with competitive levels of differentiation, focuses on efficiency so costs are lower than competitors' costs. So remember, cost leadership produces standardized products for typical customers, offers low cost products with competitive levels of differentiation, and focuses on efficiency so costs are lower than competitors' cost. And the market is broad, the target market is broad. Second, differentiation strategy. So we are in the second quadrant. Provide products that have different valued features sold at a premium price. You use this uniqueness, and your target market is broad. Differentiate their products along as many dimensions as possible. Differentiate their products along as many differentiations as possible. The less similarity to competitors' products, the more buffered a firm is from competition with its rivals. The less similarity, the more differentiated here to competitors' products, the more buffered or the most comfortable, the more profits a firm can gain, or the more apart or safe from competition with its rivals. 3. Focus strategy. Focus is narrow market. Focus means narrow market. If you are differentiated, or if you are using cost leadership, but you are competing in a narrow market. Focus strategy can take two forms: produce goods or services that serve the needs of a particular competitive segment. Second, creates value by using a focused cost leadership strategy or the focused differentiation strategy. Here, focused cost leadership or focused differentiation. Firm must have the core competencies required to provide more value to the specific market segment than competitors serving the entire industry. Firms must have core competencies required to provide more value to the specific market segment than competitors serving the entire industry. Integrated strategy, fourth type is integrated strategy. Here, integrated cost leadership or integrated differentiation. Provide relative low-cost products with valued differentiated features. Use primary and support activities to produce differentiated products at relatively low costs. So here the value chain, use primary and support activities. Primary activities, inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and after sales services. Support activities, remember, firms' infrastructure, human resources requirements, technological requirements, and procurement. B, corporate level strategy. Directions for growth can be internal alliances and mergers. Those are directions for growth from the top management. We can use 4 different types. Same business, it is business growth. If it is in the same business, it's business growth. No diversification. Upstream, downstream. Remember, in Porter's 5 forces, we have the upstream or downstream vertical integration. So remember one of the threats. So we can use at a corporate level, we can use that strategy to grow. 3 different business, so that's diversification. And 4, new geographic market, it's international expansion. International expansion being that you can use multi-domestic expansion, global expansion, and transnational expansion. Multi-domestic expansion is when you use different products or you adjust, you customize products for each market. And transnational is when you use a bit of global expansion as well. Being global expansion, the use of standardized products, so using the same product for each country. And transnational strategies that you can use a bit of both. Now for diversification can take 5 forms. Single business means low level of diversification. Why? Because 90% or less than 95% of revenues from single business unit. 90% of revenues come from a single business unit. Second, dominant business, low level of diversification. So that means 70 to 95% of revenues come from a single business unit. There's a dominant business, 70 to 95. And that's a low level of diversification. Remember, if it is low level of diversification, really single business is 99% of revenues. A single business unit. Just remember. 3, related constraint. There are 2 related things here in diversification. Related constraint or related linked. Related constraint, moderate to high level of diversification. So less than 70% comes from dominant business in terms of revenues. Business share product. So there's constraint, there are business. So One business depends on the other. Technology and distribution links. There are technology and distribution links here. Then related linked, moderate high level of diversification. Again, 70% of revenues from dominant business, limited links between businesses. So there's 70% of revenues or less come from dominant business. So it is a high level of diversification, moderate to high, and there are limited links between business. Business are more independent in this way. There can be one or two businesses or business units that are interrelated, but in general, there are limited links between businesses. Being they don't share products, they probably do not share technology or distribution channels. And fifth, unrelated, high level of diversification. Unrelated means high level of diversification. Less than 70% of revenues come from dominant. So there are no really a dominant business. So money comes from different sources, different products, and there are no links. For example, Hyundai Group, there are many different sources, cars, appliances, technology. And there's a note here. Related constraint, so this is the third one. Related constraint is optimal for performance. Why it's optimal for performance? Because it is just like in the middle. There's no dominant business when you using relative related constraint, but it represents more constraints than unrelated. So it is really in the middle. Unrelated, so it is a high level of diversification. It can be a great risk, no links between products, and the dominant business that you really depend on only one star product or one business unit. As a conclusion to the internal analysis, the professor expects a brief summary for the strengths and weaknesses of the firm. So just remember that unrelated, related linked, related constraint, dominant business, and single business in terms of diversification. For new geographic market, remember the international expansion. And for the international expansion, I have here these modes that a firm can enter, different modes. Just remember, exporting, licensing, strategic alliance, acquisition, or wholly owned subsidiary. Exporting, the firm has no foreign manufacturing expertise and requires investment only in distribution. Licensing, the firm needs to facilitate the product improvements necessary to enter foreign markets. Strategic alliance, the firm needs to connect with the experienced partner already in the targeted market, or it needs to reduce its risk through the sharing of costs. Acquisition, the firm must act quickly to gain rapid access to a new market, and corruption is not an issue. Then the wholly owned subsidiary, the firm's intellectual property rights are not well protected. The number of firms in the industry is growing fast, and there's a need for global integration. And the need for global integration is high. Okay, this is it for the third page of our recording. Thank you for listening.